Yeah. So you're talking about the how generally like we do make request from Python, and what are the use cases of making the request to different servers in the Python or any other language, like, or any other like software. So basically, when we make the request to other servers or other website URLs, so there can be many reasons. One is like
Mm-hmm.
either you using kind of scraping, where you're going to the different website and you're searching or finding some product or anything based on your requirement. So one use case of this. Second use case, like Google do, it do like cache the all meta information, and based on that it do create the page indexing and some other like website ranking based on data on the website. So they do scrap whole page and parsing it, find the useful details from there, right? So this is another use case of using the making the API call. Third use case, like you are implementing application, and in that you require data from some other like the systems or the software, like you getting a web application and you have to get the users post that they posted in LinkedIn. In that case you will need to use the LinkedIn API, or you need to use the, if you want to from Twitter, then you can get the tweets from the Twitter using the Twitter API. So for those API we do call into the our into Python, and we get the tweets based on the user details, and then we display into the, you can store and display into our application by using
Right.
Python. So they're like different. There are many use cases. Like you can use also for login authentication, or the, like you created an application and you want to allow the login from Facebook to your application. So there you can use a API calls to make API call to the Facebook, and when user do sign in, you do redirect to the our application. So this is like another use case of calling the APIs. So API basically is basically a kind of like we having a URL that do having some methods like get, post, put, delete, and we requesting the data from the server. So in the form of REST API. So REST basically RESTful stateless. So basically stateless protocol. So we having kind of it's more over like architectural. You can say uh, a pattern in REST usually. So through that we make the we make API call to server, and based on that we get data, and we get data in the form of JSON data. So the contract between client and server based on JSON. So they use JSON for communication between the client and server, right? So this is basically a use case of the calling the API. Okay.
Right.
So yeah. So today we'll see like how we can call the API from using Python. So first of all, for that we need to install the module package, which is request packages. So request module we do install first using the PIP. So we can like go to CMD. You can check PIP is running. Yeah. So you can install pip install request. So this is a module that we use for like API calls.
A
So it do
request. Request. That's the name of the module.
yeah, this is a module name,
Okay.
REQUEST, request. So you can see
Mm-hmm.
it's saying already satisfied. It's already thinking there's yeah. So it present in the in our, okay. So now how we make so first we need to import the module. We call import request, right? So once you import your request, so there are different calls like get, put, post, delete. So these are methods for calling the of REST method that we use for calling the API. So get we use majorly for getting the data, fetching the data from the URL that you given. It can be any API, it can be website URL, it can be different route. Okay. So get we use for getting data. Post we use for creating new record into the uh, database or in the application. Then you use post. So so here what we need we need data. So we got call get method because we are not getting any new record to their website. So assume you want to call google.com. So so let's see what google.com will give. So like you can say data equal to request dot get. So when you call get method and here you pass a URL. So you can say https google.com. So this is URL. So now when you call this API, this URL, data will give it will give some data and we do print this. So how we do print statement and we type data dot text. So in text format we are printing it.
Okay.
Now we do run that and let's see what it gives. So you can see it given us as a HTML. So हमने google.com कॉल किया और google.com का जो था रिस्पॉन्स क्या होता है जो ब्राउजर होता है so browser do read this HTML then it will represent the HTML as a page but here we don't have any browser here right so we're getting the whole response as a HTML into the
Technically.
in text format because we cannot render here because this is like you
Right.
can say assume this is a terminal so so this is basically browser do parse and create the like DOM tree and will create a presentation for that like so this is the HTML of that so this is HTML but so this is not API so basically in API we get data in the JSON format so for getting API you can get some mock API like uh, JSON mock
So this request
so
module, is it like it works just like any curl, right? A postman curl.
yes correct
So
so
we can with the request module we can just only do get, or we can do put post also.
yeah we can do post and all the kind of method that we use in the REST API so
And it accepts
as you
those
make
headers.
yeah so sorry
The headers also, it accepts headers and
yeah it do accept
certificate.
headers yes
Okay, and keys
yeah
and stuff.
yes so
Okay.
basically we can see the status also like what it gives so you can see data dot status so it will give 200 because API
Mm-hmm.
success right so giving response object have no attribute status so generally we get it mm, yes dot status yeah so here we have the mm, one second so we call data API and get status it's saying response object have no attribute status okay so mm, okay so that is status code they change that so when you run that this is you get a status code 200 so it means it is success right so like we're getting a different kind of status like 400 500 so
Right.
like if you're not authenticated you're not allowed you're getting forbidden error like 403 and 401 so they like so you're not allowed so like if you don't have page or you don't have a resource into the server you get 404 and if anything is breaking in the server you get 500 error, internal server error. There can be 4503 or 500. Means if anything is breaking into the server.
Mm. Right.
So based on the status code, you can check that is your request success or not, right? And you can also check the headers also here. Like you get the like data, and you can see what are the headers, what is the response you're getting in which format. So you can see like data dot headers, like this. So when you call this, so it will give a kind of a, so these are the headers that you're getting from the server, like date this cache can expire is -1. It will it will not like it will not cache basically, and, and cache control private is content type. You can see text HTML is coming. So when you call JSON, it will become a application slash JSON. Then we when we get it in the JSON format. So here you're getting the so here the data format is text HTML, right? So this is basically the way you can. So you can get data in that in the text format that you can access, and if you're getting data in API, then that API you can like use as a like you can say um, so you can use as a so you can get basically you can get data as a API from in the JSON format. So you can convert the text into JSON using the JSON method. So basically, so from calling this episode right now, this is giving the text. So we're getting the this content type. So this coming from server. So this is clear, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we can see status, we can see header, we can see encoding, what encoding they are using. So encoding basically depends on your like the character coding, uh, encoding means which encoding they're using, means which character coding they're using. So they're different kind of UTF-8, UTF-16, ISO 8859. So these are like encoding. They do allow the different set of characters that the we can display or we can represent into the encodings.
Mm-hmm.
So these are basically we can say we get from the response object. So we see data, we see that right now. So this is giving the HTML. Now if you can find the any API that can give us a JSON. So you give, so we there's from website we can use to mock the data. So you can say online JSON API. So you can see this is like so here you can create your custom API. So online, so my JSON server, and like try a server. It's saying source is this. So like this is your API, right? And if you're calling this API, so this is giving the in JSON format. So you can see, yeah, like here we change the API. So you can see the headers, right? You can check the mm, text. So so either you can access it as a string. So text will when you call text, it will access the string. If you use JSON, it will it will pass into the JSON format. So you can see. So now this is coming in the JSON format, not text. If you use text, this will convert into the text format. So so JSON basically a kind of dictionary, yeah, the keyword pair.
Right.
So you can see this is in the text format. So
So the upper this part is header and lower part is text.
yes, so this is header till here. You can see encoding here, and you can see the content type application slash JSON. This is JSON data they were giving, right?
Right.
You can see content encoding zip time to cache Cloudflare they're using our server. So every header you can see directly from here also. They're using expire -1, so Your response should not cache into the client. No cache control, so you should not cache. There is a cookie also. They will create this cookie into your local machine, right? So these are like headers that you this that API is sending, and this is your response that API giving. And you can also see the status also. You can put status code. You will get the status code as well. So you can use any API like you can use Facebook API, you can use Google API, you can use any sort of API to fetch the record. And like as we call the google.com, so if you want to parse data or you want to get the like you searching something, right, and you want to from search you want to see the like result in the HTML or in a pattern, so you can apply like search conditions and you can search that data into that
Right.
HTML code, so that we can see, so that we can see like so this is a way to make we make external API calls.
Does it really come in handy? I mean,
Yeah,
uh,
so it's very simple, like you can just simply import the module and just call the get put post whatever the method you want to call,
yeah, yeah.
whichever the API you have, you
So
can
does it
directly
have
call
to
it.
be? Does it have to be a HTTP server only, or we can do these requests to anything?
Sorry.
Um. So, this the request we can make.
Mm.
Does it have to be an HTTP, or we can make a get request to
Necessary or not. So necessary
yeah,
means
no.
once you get the this response in data, after that you can make another API call. Like assume you want to make the data from a server, but it requires some authentication logic or token. Means you want to access some resource which only the login user can access. So what you do? First you make API call for login here. Then you get some token with the data, and that data
Right.
token you'll pass it to the another API. So after that you can define the, so once you get data you can call another API here. So that way you can also use it.
Okay. Mm, got it.
And next is we can say mm, about the time module. So in time basically what we do, we do need to like so in application we generally needed a time like whenever we're getting a record, so we need to send the add the time also like when you get any record, and we can also like so time is basically a useful math module which I think it's using everywhere, like when you to compare
Right.
and calculate the time of execution, so you can print the timing of that, and like like so that is like basic module is required for everywhere. So
Hmm.
so for time module we use import time, that this is a module, right? So it's already come with your with that with Python. So simply import that, and after importing we can use it. So how do you use it? So first, like if you want to print the time into the second, so generally we do consider timing from the January 1970. So what is the so basically we do use a Unix system, right? So in Unix system, all the time, so the initial time was considered as the 1st January 1970, the beginning of the computer, you can say. The
Right.
origin of the computer was happened start. So that's what they take in. This is the like initial time. So like if you take any like if you want to get the current time stamp, आज का अभी का मुझे चाहिए time stamp. So this will calculate the number of second from the from that from 1970 till up to now. right? So
Right,
that
right,
is like that is you can say uh, timestamp. So like you have time and you want to print the, you can print the timestamp. So basically here we call it time function, time dot time.
right.
So this way we can like we can print the timestamp here. So this is your timestamp. One second, I'm getting call. Hello. I'm not sure about issue. I not get any update from here from him. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're talking about the time. Okay. So so we use time method to get the timestamp, which is basically calculated from the so which we do calculate from the beginning of from 1970.
Hmm.
So till up to now, what is the second is there. So since we do like we like display that, so it's in UDC format, universal that time control. So
Right.
and after that like so this is like your timestamp and we can like convert yeah, so we can convert. So if you have the timestamp, so from timestamp you can get the local time as well. So like so
Right.
so basically you can say vice versa. Like if you have timestamp, you can create the local time, and from local time you can create the timestamp. So if you already have this data, this timestamp, we can store in some. variable here. Like generally, what happen in database, we store the timestamp, right? And when you're fetching record from database, in that case, you have to like look into the date, like you have to represent some data into the somewhere, like some file or some other sources or some. So in that case, what we do convert the timestamp into the local time, because you cannot read that timestamp, correct? So we do convert it to the local time.
Right,
C
right.
is actually
Yeah, it
here.
doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So for that we do use C method, C time. So we use you can say system time. Sorry, time stamp. And we do pass this time item stem into the time dot C print method, C time method. So here we pass the time stamp. Right. This is clear.
C
So
time means?
this is a method basically. This is a method
Okay.
of the time. So you have time module. So it do cannot like
Okay.
C time means you can see like C means dekhna, right?
Okay, okay.
See you can see visualize the time. So it converted the time. Look, so this is like today. So we get the get the today's timestamp. So it's like ask the timestamp. Time दी
So
दिखाती है.
this is like this is your time? I mean,
So it
whatever the
is
time.
UTC, universal time zone.
This is UTC. Okay. Okay.
So basically you can from timestamp you can get the local time as well. And like if you like you can also use the time module whenever you want to if you want to delay the execution of your program, like you are studying writing some program, right? And in that time you want some delay, like you adding a loop, for loop, and
Right.
in the for loop you want some delay of 1 second, right? So you can call
Right.
you use the time module, like you want to call the for loop in each after 1 second, right? So in that case you can add delay. How do you delay? Use the sleep method of time module. So like you can call sleep method here, like you can print this statement. I'm not sure it is running a CLI or not, but yeah, so here you can see like time started. Okay, and here the time dot sleep. Okay, so here in this we can add the means the delay. So how much delay you want to add, you can add in the seconds. So you can see I want to execute this function after 2 seconds. So I added 2 second delay. Then they printed this one, right? Now you can run this. So it started after 2 seconds it executed, right? So do those second बाद you will get the next statement. So
So
string is
is
saying
there a way we can get like our own standard time, like my time, your
so,
time,
so
IST?
then you have to add the EU local time zone, like the offset. So local time zones basically. So the method is local time. So you can if you can use local time here. This is the method we do use for local time. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
you can see. So this is been doing in the in the tuple format. So you can get the year is month is 10th. This is date, and this is the like, time is like
Hmm.
3 minutes, and here this
So
second.
after this we can
Yeah. So basically we get the timestamp, and after you can get local time. You
yeah, we can do the time
from
format also.
timestamp. Yes, so here we can like so this is giving in the structure in the structural form. So we can call so you can say you can get stored in some variable, or you can directly like call in
Mhm.
it like year like tm dot year year key, so you key tm dot year, and you can simply get the r. So this basically you can get the year and the other parameter that you want to access. And you can also create the time yourself by passing the year, like so we can like as you're getting here uh, this way. So same way you can create own time. Like I want to create the time object of or timestamp of this date. So you can use a make time function. So the time dot make mk time mk time. So here we can like pass the different parameter, uh, like year, first is year, and after that like you can pass the month, and so in same like same pattern, year comma month 10, and you can pass like uh, day mm, 7. So like this is a parameter we do pass basically, and after that it will give us the time object, and like we from that we can get the like local time object. So you can print it like mq time. It's saying okay, it take more argument. So it's year, month we passed day. It's asking our time, is literally one argument. Oh sorry, it's in tuple format. So it came to the tuple format. So illegal time tuple. Yeah. So if we need to pass all these parameters, then need to create the time. Okay. So specifically from timestamp you can create the local time using the local time function.
Right.
So there are different formats you can use to print your time, and you can like
We can we can also do that. Put that in a string dot format
yeah,
and write. Oh,
yes, yes.
okay.
So we use like the method str format f time. So in str f time you can pass a pattern in which like this way we want to display. So you can define the pattern using the ampersand, like you can say using the percentage sign. So like here like you can getting the time. So like it's like here you're getting the time. So here you're getting the time in this format, right? In a honor of tuple. So you can convert this into the uh, format. You can format that basically. So for formatting, what we do use a time function. So you can say so for local time we can store in some variable. Okay. So now it come into this variable. After that we can like format it. So for formatting we do use like same print time dot strf time. Now in this we define the pattern. So like in which format you want to print. If you want to make date first, uh, you can use the kind of percentage. Sorry, percentage m. So percentage m for month. Then you can get slash or you can use hyphen. slash d. So we did it d for date. Then you can slash y. So there is small y and capital Y. So small y basically will print the half of the month, half the year, and capital Y print the full year. So I use a capital Y, and so and you can print the time and other things, right? And you can pass the tuple which is local. So you can see it is formatted in this format.
Right.
See here we
Yeah.
not printed the like R, or for if you want to print a R also you can add the percent H, and for minute we use percentage M,
Hmm.
for second we use percentage S, like this way.
So strf time, it's a function method of a time module itself. I thought it's just a.
This is part of module.
Hmm.
So all the related function to the file format and regarding the
Hmm.
time you will get into this module, in the time module,
Right.
right? And it's the same way. So this is like one way. So here we having the time stamp and like in the local time, and somewhere we counting the in the time string, all right? You can do opposite also. If you have given you this time, so you can create the time from the time object from this, or time stamp
Hmm.
from this. So we do same opposite function. So for that we use like we can say so we use strp time, p for parsing. So here f for formatting. So it's a string formatting time. So यहाँ हम कर रहे हैं, so method is string formatting time. So हम टाइम को string format रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. अब सेम इसका अपोजिट क्या होता है, string parse time. Like I do pass the time in the string format, and we do parse it and convert that into time object. So for that we use like you can say like string time, str time. So I given you some time in the string format, like you can take this one as in the string, correct?
Hmm.
So the now time is coming to string format. After that, what we do? We do like convert this time into the uh, um, time 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 format. So you can say local time. So here what we do? We do parse it. So how do you parse? We with the str strp time, p for parsing. So we string a
Hmm.
parser at a time. And how do you parse it? You define the this pattern. So whenever you get any string, you define in which pattern they return return the time. Means pehla the first element is a month or year or what. So you define in pattern. So first is a month, right? So pattern will check read match with the string format and convert it to the time. So here we pass. So first parameter is your string time. Second is pattern. This way. Now we get a local time. We do print it local time, right? So this will become the string time object.
Hmm.
Yeah. So is it clear?
Yeah. Yeah. I think.
So this is basically we can convert string to time, time to string, and based on that we can perform the different operation on string, parsing, and appending. creating getting timestamp. So other module like we use like a Json module. So Json basically it do like same thing like as we did here. So Json basically load. I think that I already discussed earlier
Mm-hmm.
regarding Json. So
Yes.
we do
Yes.
formatting and loading the. So it do convert a string into the JSON format. So we
JSON
call
format.
JSON.load function and that we pass the string, right, and it do convert it to JSON. So we can using JSON method JSON module we can convert a string into JSON format. So that basically give us a dictionary key value pair.
Right.
Yeah. So that is another useful module that we do use it. But generally, like if you're calling an API, we call the JSON method like request data.json as you did here. So it also gives us in the JSON data here data.json. If you call method, so it will give the response in JSON format. So like this way. So this is our JSON in this form. So basically JSON is a kind of dictionary. We having key and value pair.
Right.
By key, we can get the like value.
Yeah, I think we can stop this for today. I
Yeah.
think you are tired, and
Yes.
we
Yes.
can give little more time tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll start early. Early.
Okay.
I am not going out tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Shivam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks.